Hi everyone, it's Tokki, and those drawings at the beginning of the video were all done by me. Yep, feel free to roast me like some of y'all did with that one Angel Boy character short from months ago. It's okay. I know I struggle with drawing males. I'll get to working on it. Eventually. Anyways, as an artist, I always really love to draw people. I love drawing characters, I love designing characters, but after a while, I started getting embarrassed that all my illustrations would just be a character floating in the void, with maybe just a colored shape or pattern for a background, if even that. I just got to the point where I felt like I needed to do more, especially since one of the things I'd like to accomplish before heaven calls for me is that I want to make a comic. And not one of the silly comedy comics that I did as a kid, or like my art adventures comic, but a more serious comic, I guess, with a plotline and developed characters and world building. World building and settings require me to draw backgrounds for locations and environments and stuff. So, it's a good skill to try to improve. When I've tried studying backgrounds in the past, I'd always get overwhelmed using real life references for some reason. And it'd just go completely left, and I'd end up with the drawings from the beginning of the video. After seeing my frustrations, my husband told me to try to find a way to draw backgrounds where I would enjoy it a lot more, instead of making myself frustrated all the time. And I realized that I started learning how to draw characters and fell in love with drawing characters by drawing fan art of my favorite shows from when I was younger. So I thought maybe if I use references from some form of media that I like and whose art style I enjoy, then it would be a more enjoyable process for me. And that's what this video is pretty much going to be, getting more comfortable drawing backgrounds through fan art. This first piece is a shot taken from the show Amphibia. I think it was a bit much for my first one, especially since I struggle more with outside, nature-like backgrounds a lot. But it's not too bad, I guess. I definitely like them better than any of the ones from the beginning. The second one is Steven Universe background art. I was a lot less nervous going into this one since it had less going on than the Amphibia one. I really liked the way the trees were stylized, and the lighting from the sunset also really made me choose this one because that's also a thing of backgrounds that I usually struggle with. The lighting in this was very prominent but also very simple, so it didn't intimidate me as much as it usually does. This is the final result, and I really liked how it turned out. In fact, I liked how it turned out so much that I went full dum-dum and told myself, hey, I can draw a naturey background pretty good now, no problem, and proceeded to draw these next two illustrations without any references. So, first I tried to do this floating island thing, and if I'm being honest, I do see quite a bit of improvement. Like, I definitely don't think I would have been able to do something like this before in the little time that I did, but it's still not super great. I honestly don't even know how the shape and structure of the island works. Like, where is the water coming from? Where is the trees aren't scaled well, and the whole back portion of the island. What is going on here? It's done. Okay, it's done. Thank God. So after that, I told myself that the island came out that way because I rushed. And honestly, that might be true to an extent. I was very impatient to get it done, so I told myself that I would try again, but instead of an island, I sketched out this little scene in my head of a person standing in a graveyard with a bunch of gravestones and trees. And I told myself that I would take my time and see this through and put in the full effort to make it come out exactly like it did in my head. And then, as soon as I started drawing trees, I went, ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm doing trees and gravestones, and decided to completely disregard the gravestones in the sketch. And then I also just got lazy with the trees. I don't know. I probably just seem like a hot mess to everyone watching this right now. And you're absolutely right. I am. Anyway, this is the final result of how that turned out. Again, I do see improvements, but I can also see where I know I could have done better if I wasn't so impatient when drawing backgrounds and would just see the vision through, you know, even if it takes longer than I wanted to. But yeah, I was just a little disappointed in myself. Actually, after this, I got discouraged for a bit, and it took me a few days before I wanted to practice backgrounds again. But eventually, I got back to it, because, well, I sort of have to if I want to improve. I decided that I would focus on interior structures instead of, like, outside nature stuff. My references for all of these were from the video game Tangle Tower. It's part of the Detective Grimoire series, and I absolutely adore the change in art style from the first game. I enjoyed doing these a lot more than the previous ones. I don't know why, but nature and bushes and trees and stuff have always been pretty challenging for me in art. I think it's the organic nature of the shapes I have to draw. I don't know, man. I also think one of the big reasons I enjoyed doing the Tangle Tower backgrounds a lot more is because the characters are included in the environment and are even kind of interacting with it. So, knowing that I was also drawing the characters, which is the thing that I actually love to do, probably gave me a little bit of dopamine or something. I just know I had a lot of fun drawing these, and I think I might do all the characters' rooms sometime in the future. I think my biggest takeaway from doing these room drawings were that I gained a lot more confidence when it comes to lighting, or at least lighting that comes from windows, and just how the light falls onto the objects in the room and how it affects the shadows. Again, when it's outdoors, it just doesn't click as easily for me. I really don't know why. Maybe because the light source is the sun and the sun is just everywhere. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have to make a comic where everyone is indoors at all times and just run with that. That is the solution. That is my solution to this problem. Nah, I'm just joking. At the end of the day, this is a process, and since this is the very first time I've put in direct effort to improve this specific thing in my art, it's not gonna have massive improvement in just 6 non-consecutive days of practice. And like I said earlier, even if it's not much, I do still see little bits of improvement, even in the drawings that I didn't like. And I just need to be patient with myself and keep practicing with intent. And I hope that any of you who are feeling stuck with your art, or feel like you're not improving as much as you want to, that between the frustration and ranting and beating yourself up, you can at least appreciate the tiny little improvements you've made, even if you're not where you wish to be yet. So, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video. Eventually.